Recently, I've been scrolling through Steam, looking for interesting horror games that stand out. Sometimes I come across a game that looks poorly put together, but ends up being one of my favorite horror games. And other times I come across a game that looks unique, and turns out to be a complete letdown. Sparky Marky at first glance looks like a game that has personality, and has something to bring to the horror genre. But instead of getting a unique experience, you get another horror game that tries to replicate what Poppy Playtime or Hello Neighbor has tried to accomplish. Today, we'll be looking at the story of Sparky Marky developed by Clapperheads, and go over why I think this game is such a disappointment. Also, before getting started, if you're wanting to try this game out yourself and form your own opinion, I highly advise playing it before watching this video, because I go over many spoilers. It's about 30 minutes long, and it's free, so definitely worth giving it a try. With that said, let's get right into it. So the game starts you off in a forest at night. You aren't set up with a goal in mind, so you go exploring and make your way to a seemingly abandoned building to find out that the door is locked. At this abandoned building, you notice pink and yellow wires leading somewhere. You decide to follow these wires to find out where they lead to. On your way, you come across many broken vending machines with a cartoon character, which you find out is Sparky plastered over them. As you keep going, you come across a cave that has a door with the label AS. Getting closer to it, you realize you're unable to open it, so you continue to follow the wires. As you're walking along the path, one of the vending machines randomly turns on, and then slowly shuts off again. Striking it off, you continue, and come across a fork in the path, with the pink wires going left, and the yellow wires going right. Following the pink wires, it leads to a building with a gate surrounding it. With no way to open a gate, you continue on following the yellow wire. On the way, you come across a huge building facility. To the right of the building, there's a path lined with iron fencing and cartoon characters painted on the walls. As you follow this path, you hear whistling noises of an upbeat tune. Getting closer, you realize the sound is coming from Sparky, the character you've been seeing on the walls and vending machines. As you make your way to the end of the path, you swear you catch a glimpse of him standing and staring at you. Once you make it to the end, you realize the yellow wire is leading to a panel with a power switch. You decide to turn it on, and after doing so, you realize that Sparky has disappeared. Before you could think of where he went, you hear the loud noises of all the vending machines that have turned on. To escape the noise, you make your way to an exit and look for any doors that are open now that the power is on. Going back to the cave, you find the door is now open, but there's glass with the word "Shoot It" painted on it. After searching around some more, you realize the building at the beginning is now unlocked. You head in and find a weapon case, but it's locked with a code. You end up finding out the code is Sparky by looking at the monitor. After you put in the code, you grab the yellow weapon and head back to the cave to blast the glass, creating an opening for you to get inside. Walking into this room, you see two medical beds on opposite sides, with a watch in the middle. You put on the watch and look at the UI. You find out that you can unlock doors, call elevators, locate Sparky, and use the radio with this watch. Now knowing you can use the watch to unlock doors, you go to the big facility and open the door. In this room, there's a conveyor belt and possibly a metal detector, maybe implying that this is the entrance to the area that you're in. To your right, there is also a panel you can shoot, and when shooting it, it exposes another weapon, but this time, the weapon is some kind of taser. There is also another power switch in the small area. After you grab the taser and turn on the power switch, you head out the door and witness Sparky right in front of you. And just as quickly as he appears, he disappears. You continue and find that the door to the exit is now open. Heading towards the gate, there are signs telling you to keep a distance with Sparky. So always make sure you see Sparky, and that if you need to, tasing Sparky will put him down. When continuing to head to the gate, walls appear from the ground, and a QR monster appears from behind and starts chasing you. You run following the Sparky signs that lead to a taser weapon case. Once you manage to get a hold of a taser, you shoot at the QR monster, which ends the game. After the game ends, you are given a command to put into Discord, which gives you a code to a door. You go back into the game and go to the building where the pink wire ends. You find out the gate is open, but the door to the building is still shut. What you end up doing is getting another taser to open the door, and when you go into this building, you come across another door that needs a code to open it. You use the code Amber given to you from Discord, and find out the door opens to an elevator. In this elevator, you go to the ground floor and find a bunch of mysterious ancient-looking cubes. And finally, after this, you're pretty much done with the game. Alright, so let's first talk about the purpose of this game. I believe this game is a prologue which was made to advertise the full game Do You See Sparky that will be coming out soon. According to the page, it will be a first-person co-op horror game for 1 to 4 players with a social deduction element. In that game, you'll be collecting clues, solving puzzles, and cheat to catch a monster that you can't see, but your friends can. Now, I don't mind that they use this tactic to advertise their upcoming game, but for me it's the way they did it. Before playing this game, you are told to join their Discord server, because the game utilizes commands that you type into their Discord, which will uncover all the secrets in the game. First glance, this seems like a cool idea, but the way they used this concept was poorly done. Throughout the game, you'll come across commands which are words with an exclamation mark at the beginning of them. What you do with these is you type these commands into their Discord server, and you'll get an image with an explanation of it. Most of the time what you get are either explanations of their future game, or explanations that are just kind of redundant. And sometimes the information will be somewhat interesting because it actually explains something you are curious about. To help you understand what I'm talking about, here are some examples. One of the first commands you come across is Amber, and when you put this into their Discord, you get an image with a statue of a girl holding some glowing triangle. It also comes with text that reads, "Access denied, sensitive data warning, administrator's login permission required." This image doesn't tell me much, and doesn't give me any reason to care. Same goes for the text. There is little to no explanation of what it is or what it does. Another command you find is gun, which is just describing the types of guns they'll have for their new game where they're working on. When release is also a command you can find in the game, and that just sends you a link to their upcoming game so you can add it to your wishlist on Steam. The worst one that I found was near the scooters behind the gate, the command being scooter, and when you type this in, you are given an image of scooters with a text that reads, "Fast, safe, an energy-efficient transporting device for Amber's Park staff." It just feels like a slap in the face because you're told these commands will unlock secrets and that you need to join their Discord to get the full experience. But in reality, the only experience you're really missing out on is getting redundant descriptions of things you already know. It's like Clapperheads doesn't believe that people playing their game can't put two and two together. These aren't secrets, it doesn't add to any lore. It doesn't tell me anything new that I can't figure out through just playing the game. These commands just feel like they were a quick afterthought and weren't used to their full potential. I wouldn't be so disappointed if these commands gave more to offer. Like, tell me more about the beginning of Sparky. Tell me more about why this park got abandoned. Or tell me what happened to Sparky. So many questions not answered, and the questions that aren't satisfying enough. I think in general, this game just doesn't have anything that makes me want to know more about the game. Don't get me wrong, the QR Monster and Sparky are interesting designs, but why should I fear them when I'm told nothing of what they are capable of, especially when they really aren't that scary? Sparky is just a short red blob with a zipper for a mouth and red glowing eyes. When I look at Sparky, I don't feel like I'm in danger because he doesn't show any threat. In the game, the only thing Sparky does is whistle, stand and stare at you, and sometimes disappear from your sight. The QR Monster, on the other hand, is a little bit better. I love the design of having the QR code be its head and having the spider-like legs. I also like the noises it makes when you hear all its legs moving towards you when you're being chased. I think this monster has really good potential, but needs a little bit more time to fully fledge out the design to make it really scary. Overall, this game fails to scare or bring tension to the player. There's not much going on. There's only 2 jump scares and 1 silent jump scare, and all of them failed to scare me. The game tries to startle you and make you feel uneasy with the songs being played from the broken vending machine or the random whistling you hear from Sparky. But it just isn't enough because there is no setup to where you are and what Sparky can do to you. You need to be able to give the player reason to be scared, and the only thing that really showed that was a painting on the wall describing that Sparky is not your friend. Other than that, there really isn't anything else to show the player that Sparky is in fact dangerous. It feels like this game is trying to appeal to both kids and adults, and I think it's trying to grab the attention of YouTube creators by having lore and having an art style similar to Poppy Playtime and a Hello Neighbor. I think the problem with Sparky Marky is the developers are more focused on making this game mysterious and full of lore, rather than just going all out and making it super scary. I think they should focus less on making hidden secrets and lore, and focus more on establishing the game's story so people will actually care about these characters. From there you can start putting in lore because then people actually care about the characters and want to know more about what happened. I also disliked how much back and forth you had to do in the game. To unlock the door to the building at the beginning of the game, you have to walk all the way to the end of the map to turn on the power and then walk all the way back to get the gun. Then after that, you walk to the cave to shoot the glass and get to the watch to unlock the door. And as a new player, you'll end up unlocking the door to the exit, but you'll find that you need another weapon to open the other door, so you'll have to go all the way back again and grab another gun to break the panel. It would have been just so much easier if the guns just recharged after a while, and you could reuse the same guns so you don't have to go back and forth so much. They probably did this intentionally to pad out game time, because it's what took the most amount of time. This is also why the game wasn't scary. Nothing happens when you go back and forth. I think the only thing that happens is you hear Sparky whistle a little and the vending machines go off sometimes. It just turns this game into a chore and you get bored seeing the same thing over and over again. One thing you never want to do when making a horror game is have the player go through the same level multiple times, because the player will end up getting bored and used to the environment and be less prone to getting scared. Overall, I wasn't impressed and was disappointed with the gameplay. All I can say is that I hope their full game turns out to be a more horrific experience than their prologue. With that said, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and maybe subscribe so you don't miss out on my first upcoming Let's Play for Rewind or Die. Also, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear others' opinions on Sparky Marky and if you liked it or not. All that said, thanks for watching and see you next time.